Okay, welcome back to the channel, friends. And in this video, we're going to be talking about some of the questions you've asked. And this week is going to be about, is getting your APC document reviewed by a third party worth the money? Now, for those of you who don't know, when you are on the path to becoming a chartered building surveyor, you spend 2 years doing on-the-job experience, and you have to submit a bulk load of paperwork, which is you've got to explain that you've done 24 competencies and you've got to provide a 3,000 word case study. Now, once you've done that and you've passed all of that bit, you then do a 1 hour interview where you get grilled by three APC assessors, and they ask you various questions about your paperwork that you submitted. Now, you can actually pay a third party provider who is essentially just an RICS APC accredited assessor to review your paperwork and provide you about 300-400 potential questions that might come up in your APC. Might is the important word there, because they may not. So I did this before I sat the APC interview about 6 years ago, and cost me about £500. So it is quite a significant investment. Do I think it's worth it? It depends, and I'll go into that in a minute. But I think the way to think about this is, if you can put £500 into essentially maybe not ensuring, but helping you pass the APC on your first sitting, you're probably going to make that money back with your first pay rise. So it is worth it. And £500, it's not to be sniffed at, but on the grand scheme of life, it's not crazy amounts of money. So everyone's situation is different. Some of us have like mass loads of mortgage and student loans to pay off, so it's not nothing, but I think it is worth it. However, you have to make sure that it's being reviewed by the right person. And if you get a really bad document review, which I'm going to explain a little bit more, you probably want to go back to that person and say, give me my money back or sort it out. For example, when I did my document review, when I paid for someone to do my document review, they gave me a whole variety of questions that were not related to any of my submission coursework. And for those of you who don't know, when you're sitting your APC interview, the assessors can only ask you questions on things related to your coursework. They can't ask you questions that are just completely irrelevant, because why would you ever know? So what I found was, in my document review, I reckon maybe 30%, maybe 40% of the questions were completely irrelevant. And I think what happens is, this particular APC assessor who reviewed my paperwork has just generally like a bit of a bank of questions that he's copied and pasted into the document review. And I was going through it and thinking, this is a bit pointless, because essentially there's 30 to 40% of what I've paid was kind of worthless, which is a bit of a shame. And I think that's what's really, really important, is make sure whoever's done it has followed the rules. And if you get something back like I did, don't do what I do and I just accepted it. Go back and say, by the way, not relevant. Can you redo it? So that was one thing. But on the other hand, I thought there was quite a lot of thought-provoking questions that this particular person has given me. And what was really helpful was, it does push you down new avenues to revise and consider and just generally think about. And that can be quite helpful. Now, alternatives to spending this money is to find people in your place of work to essentially do the document review for you. Now, your employer, your boss, should really want to do this, because essentially when you get chartered, they can just charge you out for more. So it's in their interest. But I am aware of companies who actually really do this, who will actually try to kind of slow your progression down a little bit, because they can use you to do all the grunt work when you're not chartered. And yeah, uh, it's not very good practice, but people will actually do that. So yeah. Now, if you do get somebody in your company to do your document review, make sure they've either got chartered relatively recently, or they're an APC accredited assessor, because your I don't know, your superior who's 20 years into his career, who isn't involved in any of these things, will not know how to do the APC, not know how to essentially review a document, because they did the APC so long ago and it's completely different. So that's one thing to consider, because I had people in my firm do it, and it was completely irrelevant to anything that actually needed. So that's one thing you can do. You can also send me your document and I will review it. My fee for it is a little bit less than some of the others. And I won't give you standardized questions. Now, the third thing you can do, which is actually the cheapest, is to go onto Amazon and check out the book that I made. I've got two of them. I've got Building Surveying Question Bank, and I've also got the Mandatory Competencies Question Bank. Now, what I've done is it's a bit cheeky, but when I was doing the APC, I got given so many question banks from friends who worked at major companies in the UK. And what I've done is I've just rewritten all of those competencies to make sense in in modern times. So there's like questions related to the modern regulations, etc. I've just put it in there. It's about £10. You can buy it, and what you can do is look at the questions, compare it to your competencies, and then sort of interweave, and you can kind of like question yourself in a way. And the really good thing about it is it will push you down avenues to revise and reflect on your RICS APC submission documents. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Conscious, I've really freestyled it, but if anybody wants any more information on the RICS APC, let me know. I am an accredited assessor. Not that I do many assessments at the moment because I'm really, really busy at work, but I have done the assessor training. So please fire away if you have any comments or any questions, and I'll see you in the next video.